Thanks, Rita. Friday evening. Welcome to our edition of Look North. Coming up tonight, left thousands of pounds out of pocket, a BBC Yorkshire investigation uncovers the static caravan woes of hundreds of holidaymakers.
We decided to sell it for 23,000, but they didn't move it off the site. They put it up for sale for 110,000.
Calls are growing for better regulation of the holiday home industry. Also on tonight's programme.
We found you laid on your back here with a group of bystanders around and a gentleman.
A cyclist thanks the people who found him unconscious in the middle of the road after a cardiac arrest. The Halifax Panthers have silverware in their sights in the Wheelchair Rugby League Cup final. And we've got a salty story with plenty of bite. Sheffield's Pete McKee makes 400 crisp butties, all in the name of art.
And it turns unsettled out there tonight with a yellow weather warning in force for thunderstorms. I'll have more details for you towards the end of the programme.
Hello there, good to see you. Thanks for choosing Look North. A BBC Yorkshire investigation has heard that misleading claims, intimidation and a lack of regulation are allowing some holiday park companies to make millions of pounds, all at the expense of static caravan owners. Some say they felt forced to sell their caravans back to the parks for a fraction of the original price they paid for them, only then to see them re-advertised for a huge profit. With our exclusive investigation, here's Lucy Parry.
No, it just brings it all back, all the sadness of not being able to... I'm going to get upset.
Of not being able to enjoy the dream, really.
Mark and Sandra Thompson spent £66,000 on their dream lodge at Alethorpe Golf and Country Park near York in 2019. But after a company called Prestige Country Parks took over, rising fees meant that by last year, the dream had become a nightmare. They asked the manager how much the park would buy it back for.
She came to me and said that they're going to move the van and that she would only offer 23,000.
But after buying it back, the park put the lodge straight back up for sale in exactly the same lakeside spot for £110,000. Mark and Sandra are among hundreds of people who've contacted the BBC claiming they've not been fairly treated by the holiday park industry.
Hello, hi.
Prestige Country Parks runs several sites across Yorkshire. To see what potential new customers are told, we posed as a family interested in buying the Thompsons' former lodge at Alethorpe. We asked how much we could expect to get back if, like them, we needed to sell.
Oh, right.
I'll say to you, what do you want for it? I want 110, whatever you tell me. And so you're going to get it, aren't you?
That's almost 5 times what the company told Mark and Sandra it was worth just 6 months ago. Alethorpe Golf and Country Park strongly rejects any suggestion of deception, saying whether a caravan remains on park is a business and operational matter, and the price reflects market factors, significant upgrades and premium location.
Morning everybody, my name's Patrick O'Donovan and I'm the sales manager here.
But our investigation has uncovered allegations that go further. Jason and Asha Ross were told they could make £1,000 a week renting out their lodge. But the returns never materialised and they decided to sell back to the park at a substantial loss. Feeling they'd been misled, they instructed a solicitor to try to recoup some of their losses. That's when things took a dark turn.
Mr. Ross.
Who's this?
Prestige Country Park. You've got nothing better to do? Oh, you need a day off, mate. You need to get a job or something. You sold it back to us, but it's us ripping you off.
Well, it's a... What?
Talking absolute
All right. Well, that's it. We'll let the barrister deal with it, Pat.
know where you are, don't we?
All right. Is that a threat, is it?
Yeah, we know where you are.
What do you think he means by "we know where you are"?
Well, I mean, it's open to interpretation to anyone, but for me, it's meant to be a warning. I don't know them. I don't know what they're willing, what lengths they're willing to go to ensure that they safeguard their business.
Malton Grange, run by Prestige Country Parks, told us they are investigating and will take appropriate action on the outcome. They said it was made clear that rental income is not guaranteed and that the couple only had the lodge for 6 weeks, which is a short time to generate consistent bookings. Mark and Sandra, Jason and Asher, 2 couples at 2 Yorkshire parks. But campaigners and tens of thousands of unhappy customers across the country say reform of the wider industry is now urgently needed. Lucy Parry, BBC Look North.
Thank you, Lucy. Now let's get some of the other headlines that are coming in to us. Police are investigating a road traffic collision in Sheffield in which a schoolgirl has died. It happened in Mosborough at around 5 o'clock last night at the High Street junction with Station Road. The 11-year-old girl was taken to hospital but unfortunately died a short time later. A 27-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving and traffic offences. He's been released on bail. A drug dealer who kidnapped and murdered his uncle has been jailed for a minimum of 34 years. Bradford bus driver Asghar Badshah was kidnapped, tortured and killed in 2019 over the whereabouts of some missing money. Tahir Saeed, who's 42, was sentenced this morning after a jury found him guilty of murder earlier this week. The National Crime Agency has seized the home of former Lord Mayor of Leeds, Councillor Abigail Marshall-Catung. The NCA has won a High Court case over its right to the house, which was previously owned by a man suspected of money laundering. Now, there's no suggestion Councillor Catung knew about the criminality when she agreed to buy the house in 2015, and she has told us she will appeal. Now, a cyclist from West Yorkshire says he owes his life to a group of people who found him unconscious in the middle of a road. 61-year-old Yusmail had a cardiac arrest near the Five Rise locks in Bingley. Initially, he was helped by 2 runners. Then a volunteer lockkeeper continued CPR until paramedics arrived, as Heidi Tomlinson reports.
We found you laid on your back here with a group of bystanders around.
Piecing it all together, Joost Smeal has no recollection of having a cardiac arrest whilst out cycling between Skipton and Bingley.
I must have come past the Five Rise locks here and then gone another 50 metres, stopped my bicycle and keeled over because my heart had stopped. And at that point I couldn't control my life at all. I had no control. And I was entirely reliant on the bystanders who stepped in to save me, and I owe them so much.
Right, Steve, if you want to open that gate paddle.
When CPR-trained volunteer lockkeeper Richard Breese heard about the emergency, he ran to assist, as did a local cafe owner with a defibrillator.
The stars aligned that day for us, they did. We could have been at the bottom of the locks. We'd just come back up after a down passage. We were here, we were trained up, the defib was there. He'd ridden a long way that day on his bike. Had he been 2 or 3 miles further up the canal where it's a lot quieter, then he probably wouldn't be here today.
Through a shared traumatic experience, the 2 men have become friends, Joost eager to hear every detail.
So Megan gave you the shock from the defib and it told us to continue with CPR, which we did, until the ambulances arrived, and 2 ambulances came. But I remember looking at you and thinking, come on, let's get some breathing going here, and you did. You did eventually start to breathe for yourself.
You guys saved my life, so yes, I owe you. There's a huge debt there. I do feel as though I've got a second chance. I have an opportunity to make a difference, and it's a gift that's been given to me.
Joost is recovering well from surgery, looking forward to cycling again and grateful to all those who saved his life. Heidi Tomlinson, BBC Look North, Bingley.
All the best to Joost and good luck for your recovery. Now, you're watching Friday's Look North, still ahead on tonight's programme. In charge of Chatsworth, the Chesterfield children taking over the stately home for a day. Now, in the 1980s and 90s, Bhangra music exploded right across the UK. But in Bradford, it sparked a unique underground scene. Many teenagers decided to skip class to attend secret afternoon parties known as daytimers. Now the pioneers of that scene are reuniting, among them some big homegrown performers and DJs, to celebrate a legacy of cultural pride, self-expression and above all unity. Aisha Iqbal, probably a novice of many daytimers in the past, is in Bradford ahead of the big reunion gig tonight.
Yes, the Bhangra Beats are returning to Bradford tonight. In fact, we're taking it right back to the old school because we are here at the Majestic. Now, in a former life, this was the Maestro Super Club and it was a spiritual home of the burgeoning daytimers Bhangra scene. So they had to have the reunion here. Where else? We're going to have some of those pioneers of the scene performing tonight. Well, I caught up with some of them a little bit earlier and I had a bit of a rummage in their photo albums.
Just like a whirlwind, just going round and round and round and round, and there's so many good times.
It all started in Bradford. It did really all start in Bradford.
We were the generation that actually changed the narrative in the late 80s. Everything changed. We were the British-born Asians, and our style, the music, listening to the Western pop, but having our own version of it. This story needs to be told and needs to be told now with whoever's left.
The following song is coming like Mr. Kipling, exceedingly good.
From there it just grew and grew and grew, and it's all about just, you know, I think for us, celebrating the people from that era and celebrating, you know, what we had and the struggles that we went through.
Well, nostalgia is everywhere today. Well, for the organisers, it's not just about the music, it is also about marking a really important moment in this city and for a group of young people who were trying to find themselves. Let's talk to Rani Kaur. Rani was one of the first, the only DJ, female DJ, as part of that movement. How does it feel to be back here?
Last time I came here, this was a nightclub. There was a bar there, there was a DJ stand there, there was a stage there, there was a sound desk over there, and now it's not here. It's a beautiful space, absolutely gorgeous, but it's still got a special space in our hearts because it's where we started, it's where we marked, I think we really kind of put the foot down, put the stamp on daytimers and evening gigs and stuff here, because without this space I don't think we'd have had the movement that we had in Bradford.
There you go. Well, in this year, Bradford's year as a UK City of Culture, it's an important moment for the city tonight, and what better way to celebrate the boldness and the spirit of this city than by bringing back the Bhangra Beats.
Thanks, Aisha. I might confess to having had a few possibly lubricated nights in Maestros in my time. But now the man with the moves, Paul Ogden. It is a busy weekend ahead, isn't it?
It is. And there's particularly a huge weekend ahead for the Wheelchair Rugby League side, Halifax Panthers. They take on London Roosters in the Challenge Cup final tomorrow. It's the Panthers' first cup final appearance since 2018. The game will be shown live on the BBC Sport website, by the way. And Nicola Rees has been to meet the team, hoping to bring some silverware back to Halifax.
If you like your sport fast and fierce, look no further. Halifax Panthers are the UK's most successful wheelchair rugby league team.
It looks a lot more aggressive than it is. The wheelchair clash knocks people off a little bit, spectators. They think it sounds a lot worse than it is. The chairs do take the brunt of the force. But the sport's becoming really physical now as well.
Star player Jack Brown's back after 4 years working in Australia. His timing couldn't be better. There's a small matter of a Challenge Cup final tomorrow when the Panthers will take on London Roosters.
I haven't been able to compete too much in Australia, so it's really nice to come back, and my second game back is a final, so that's pretty nuts, to be fair. It's a kind of trial by fire, so I'll have to have a good breakfast and able to live up to the hype, hopefully.
Jack doesn't have a disability, but he lives for this sport. The chair makes everyone equal on the pitch. And for Finlay O'Neill, it meant play didn't have to stop when he got injured.
Well, originally I played a running game, but my knee dislocated, and at the point now where it dislocates when I'm just walking. So start playing this and loving it. It's much quicker than running game, and just you've got people with wheelchairs flying into walls. It's a joke.
In Halifax, newcomers to the game can train alongside world-class players like Rob Hawkins.
So I'm going to cross. Now, nice. There's a rule where you have to keep your feet all strapped in at once. It's aimed at all players, but it's also mainly for the able-bodied players, so people who don't have disabilities. It's basically to try and make it fully inclusive for everyone.
Rob's on a mission to get more people involved. He says big games like tomorrow's final are all part of that.
Whenever we have any form of game that's televised, it always brings a bit more limelight into the sport and helps promote it more. If we don't promote it ourselves, how else are we going to continue to grow?
Anyone can play wheelchair rugby league. That's the beauty of it. If you can push a wheelchair, you can play wheelchair rugby league, and you're allowed to play it to any level.
There's been a surge in interest in the sport since this magical moment in 2022.
Wheelchair Rugby League World Cup winners.
Rob and Jack were both part of that England team, and they'll be looking for glory again this weekend with Halifax.
The standout thing for wheelchair rugby league is the community around it. So as much as we play this Challenge Cup final on Saturday against London, and they'll be our rivals and they will knock us about a fair bit, but some of them are my best mates from England, and there'll be lots of kisses and cuddles after the game, win, lose or draw.
Kick-offs at 2 p.m. with live coverage on BBC Sport. Good luck, Panthers. Nicola Rees, BBC Look North, Halifax.
Great stuff, Nicola, thank you. Good luck to the Halifax guys. Athletics news next. A new record time, UK record time, was set by one of our region's runners last night. Harrogate's George Mills smashed Sir Mo Farah's 5,000 metre record by more than 6 seconds. This was at the Diamond League meeting in Oslo. Mills taking 12 seconds off his own personal best to finish the race in 4th place. And he looks in great shape ahead of the World Championships in September. It's farewell this weekend to one of the netball greats as the sport here in Yorkshire and beyond prepares to say goodbye to Leeds Rhinos' Jiva Mentor. She's widely regarded as one of the world's best. Mentor will take to the court for a final time on Sunday after announcing her retirement. Her career spans 24 years, the highlight of which was winning gold for England at the 2018 Commonwealth Games. And you can watch her final Rhinos match, which is away at Nottingham Forest on Sunday, live on the BBC iPlayer and BBC Sport website. It starts at 4 o'clock. In Super League, Castleford Tigers kick off this weekend's action with their match tonight over at Hull FC. And a reminder that there is live Super League action on BBC television on Sunday afternoon as well. Wakefield Trinity against Lee kicks off at 2:30. You will notice that the Wakefield players will be wearing special jerseys to be auctioned afterwards as a fundraiser for the Candlelighters Trust charity, which supports children in Yorkshire with cancer, including the young grandson of the Wakefield Trinity coach, Darryl Powell. So, a particular all the best from all of us at Look North to the Wakefield Trinity family. I think you'll agree, Tom.
Absolutely, Paul, and Candlelighters are a great charity cause. Thank you very much indeed for the sport. Now, when it comes to stately homes, there are a few that match the magnificence and beauty of Chatsworth. The famous Derbyshire estate has been used as a location for TV and films such as Pride and Prejudice, The Duchess and Peaky Blinders, and it is seen by many as Britain's favourite country house. It's home to a major collection of paintings, sculptures and old master drawings, all very valuable stuff. So yesterday, many of the staff jobs were taken over by primary school children from nearby Chesterfield. Danny Savage sorts out the chaos.
It's one of the finest stately homes in England. So what could possibly go wrong with 99 primary school children taking over?
Welcome to Chatsworth. Can I see your ticket, please?
To the gardens first.
That's your pair. Your pair.
Year 5 were getting their hands dirty.
Well, we've just been doing planting some flowers and watering them, but I have learnt that how to travel deeper into the soil and how to water properly.
And when they need to run off their energy,
great job, all planted in. So, off you go.
Just send them into the maze.
They love it, and of course they get that sense of running a place, to be the adults, to be able to come and do a job they never thought even existed. But when they leave, it is our staff and our volunteers who talk for days, weeks, months later about how special that was.
To the main entrance, Year 4 were on the door.
Do we have any idea what we're doing in here?
No, that's good to know. That's really good.
Scanning tickets.
Scanning tickets. Ladies, are you concerned for your jobs?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're doing an amazing job.
Fabulous job, so I'm worried.
So you've brought 99 children to a house worth hundreds of millions of pounds.
A little nerve-wracking, but we're doing well, and they're very well behaved. They're wonderful children, so it's going well so far.
As for the priceless interior, Year 3 were dealing with that.
And you can still see the fatal details through the veil.
You can, can't you? Yeah, that's very really clever.
The veiled Vestal Virgin.
The farm was proving popular too. Someone in Year 3 had had a run-in with a goat. How would the afternoon crowd cope? What have you enjoyed most about today?
Handing out leaflets and saying, have a marvellous time 50 times to other people.
So what about a permanent job at Chatsworth? I conducted some interviews.
Hi, I'm Emmanuel and I'm 10. Hi, my name's Summer and I'm 9.
And where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Being...
What sort of people skills do you have?
Talking to people, but also sometimes the animals, I always think like, how can they not talk? I can talk to plants, I think they can talk sometimes, and people think I'm crazy.
What do you think the best thing is about working here?
Getting to know everybody and being able to help people with directions.
The last job of the day, a quick pick outside the school's new home. As for Year 5, they were last seen in the maze still. Danny Savage, BBC Look North, Chatsworth.
That looks absolutely fantastic. Best school trip ever. Although I do stop and think, did the Duke and Duchess sign off on that? Maybe not. Maybe they were out. Now, it's Father's Day this weekend, so how is this for a super dad? This is one of those stories I have to raise my eyebrows on. This is Drake, an Amur leopard who could be the most successful father, in brackets, ever to get involved in the plight to save the most endangered big cat in the world, because he has just become a dad for the third set of Amur leopard cubs, with a fair amount of help from mum Kristen too, of course. Drake was introduced to the Yorkshire Wildlife Park as part of a strategic international breeding programme in 2012. Well, that's a bundle of cute right there, isn't it? Now, is this the ultimate tribute to a northern classic? Sheffield artist Pete McKee will be making 400 crisp butties in his latest art exhibition. It kicks off tomorrow at Weston Park Museum, and Pete will be serving the sandwiches to visitors live. This performance ties in with his latest exhibition at the museum, which runs until November. Our girl, who's always first to the pickled onion monster munch, Kathy Minton, has been to see how Pete is preparing for crunch time.
Pete McKee's art is synonymous with nostalgia, family, northern identity. The themes run throughout his exhibition at Sheffield's Weston Park Museum. Good art should fill you with wonder, or in the case of Pete's new performance art, golden wonder. The artist will be making 400 crisp sandwiches in the museum and handing them out to the public. I had to ask Pete, what's it all about?
I've got to make 400 of these. I'm using one slice of bread per sandwich.
I did wonder, I thought is that how you do it at home? Because that's a bit controversial to me.
Well, I actually do, because I like that soft edge that you get when you fold it over, crunch it down.
There it is.
There you go. But then when you put your gob in it, you've got that lovely soft edge to get into.
By the end of it, you're going to be absolutely frazzled, aren't you?
Oh, I am, yeah.
Beatle John Lennon en zijn Japanse vrouw.
Performance art has a long history of capturing imaginations and headlines. Think John Lennon and Yoko Ono's Bed In, or Tilda Swinton in a Perspex box. So when it comes to art, is a crisp sandwich the real McCoy? So crisp sandwiches, what's this all about? Walk us through it.
Right.
You got that one.
I did, yes. Great. What makes art? I mean, we've got AI now coming in, and that's redefining what people's concept of art is. Is it just simply throwaway? Is a crisp butty art, you know? And it is. If the artist declares it, and I'm an artist and I'm declaring that the crisp butty is a work of art, and 400 of them is an absolute bona fide exhibition of art.
Well, it's one artwork which artificial intelligence definitely can't replicate. Pete McKee will be making crisp sandwiches at the Weston Park Museum from midday on Saturday. That's enough crisp puns for now. I'll pack it in. Kathy Minton, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Yes, she really ought to know better. There is going to be a queue out the door tomorrow at Weston Park Museum looking for a Pete McKee crisp sandwich. Don't expect him to sign it, will you? Ready, salted, cheese and onion?
Oh my God, cheese and onion. Don't give me a 6-pack of Walkers because it will disappear in seconds.
Other crisp packets are available. Yeah, thank you. But crack on with the weather.
Yes, it's been a really lovely day out there today. I'd say the calm before the storm is going to turn very unsettled out there tonight with a weather warning in force for thunderstorms. Yeah, today has been lovely. This was a lovely sun halo captured by Yorkshire Ted. Thank you for sending that one in. And the second photo really sums up how it's been for many of us today. Variable cloud, spells of sunshine and a lot of dry weather as well. So thank you as always sending in your pictures. If you'd like your picture on the telly, you can send it in to us via social media or you can head straight to the Weather Watchers website. So as mentioned, it's going to turn very lively out there tonight. A warning in force for thunderstorms from midnight tonight. That runs right through until Saturday evening. Some heavy and thundery downpours on the way. Here's what's going on. We've got low pressure out to the west, high pressure out to the east. It's this very complex low with associated weather fronts that will work its way northeastwards, bringing that heavy rain. I think those showers will be on and off through Saturday, a quieter day on Sunday, and then high pressure builds as we head into next week. So actually for much of next week it's looking mostly dry with good spells of sunshine. So mostly dry out there tonight, but it's through the overnight period these heavy showers will move through. Hopefully they're going to run through quite quickly, so by the end of the night for many of us it will end dry with some clear spells. But notice our temperatures falling away to 14, maybe a 15 degrees. It's going to be quite muggy into Saturday morning. See you next high waters. We've got Scarborough at 6:46 tomorrow morning and then Filey at 6:50. So a muggy start, a sticky start to Saturday morning. I think overall Saturday through the day is going to be a day of sunny spells and showers, a lot of greens in those showers indicating the heavier bursts, and there's still the risk tomorrow of a few rumbles of thunder, bearing in mind that weather warning is still in force until 6 o'clock on Saturday evening. Top temperatures around 21 degrees. I'd say the quieter day over the weekend is going to be Sunday. It should be mostly dry with some sunny spells. Tom?
You might be able to get out for a crisp sandwich picnic then, as long as you don't mind the crisps getting soggy if you get caught in those rain showers.
I have the menu anyway.
Absolutely. Well, it makes me hungry. That's tea now. That's tea sorted, crisp sandwich. Thanks for your company. We're back tonight at 10:25 with the last look at your headlines for Friday night. From all of us here, bye-bye.